What are open source models and why are they so important in the world of AI? So large language models are actually divided into two sets: closed source models and open source models. As closed source models, we have an example of OpenAI models, Claude, or Gemini. Closed source models are very easy to use. You don't have to have expensive GPUs, and you also don't have to have a lot of memory on your computer. Closed models are designed in a way that every user can use them, even if they have limited resources. However, they have some trade-offs. Using these models can raise privacy concerns, and your data may be treated externally. There is lack of customization options. For example, in a lot of closed models, we cannot really adjust the system query, where we can tell the model how we want to answer, give the instructions of the way of answering to the user, and maybe giving it a tone. We cannot fine-tune the model. And finally, the most concerning part is that we are really relying on the provider of this model. So we're actually very dependent on the terms and privacy policies of the provider, and we don't have the full control over the model. And that's where open source models come. Open source models are those models that are available for us to download, where we know the parameters, we know how the model was trained, we have a whole paper explaining what kind of processes it went through and what kind of data was used. Moreover, we can download this model and we can customize it, fine-tune it further, meaning train it further, and adjust it to our needs. I would like to look with you at the message of Mark Zuckerberg, where he explains why open source models are the future. So Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO of Meta, and Meta has been a main contributor to the open source large language models. There is an article with a message from Mark Zuckerberg where he explains why open source AI is the path forward. I want to skip directly to the advantages of having open source models. Why open source AI is good for developers. First point, we need to train, fine-tune, and distill our own models. Every organization has different needs that are best met with models of different sizes that are trained or fine-tuned with their specific data. On-device tasks and classification tasks require small models, while more complicated tasks require larger models. So open source models are actually provided to us in different sizes. And for different tasks and different technical requirements, there is different sizes of the models. As for example, there is such models that can be even run on our own smartphones. Let's look at the second point. We need to control our own destiny and not get locked into a closed vendor. So, many organizations don't want to depend on models they cannot run and control themselves. They don't want closed models providers to be able to change their model, alter their terms of use, or even stop serving them entirely. And that's what I talked about in the beginning. We don't want the provider to have over the control of the models we use, and our tools that we build on these models fully be dependent on these providers like OpenAI or Anthropic. Third point, we need to protect our data. Many organizations handle sensitive data that they need to secure and can't send to closed models over cloud APIs. Other organizations simply don't trust the closed models providers with their data. A lot of closed model providers train on our own data. So whatever documentation I send to it or whatever sentence I write to it, I cannot really share information that is sensitive, for example, from my client, because it is possible that this information will be used after to train the own model. And this does not happen with open source models. Open source models can be downloaded on your computer and can be used offline. This means that there is no chance that data will leave your own computer. Fourth point, we need a model that is efficient and affordable to run. Open source models, as I said before, provide us with different sizes of models. And it means that if we have some small task and we need a small model, as for example, using our smartphone or in a computer that doesn't have that many access of GPUs, we can have this choice and we can use them. And we don't need to run a huge model that will cost us tons of money for no need. And finally, the last point, we want to invest in the ecosystem that's going to be the standard for the long term. Lots of people see open source is advancing at a faster rate than closed models, and they want to build their systems on the architecture that will give them the greatest advantage long term. What does this point mean? It means that open source models are available for everyone, and every developer in the entire world can download this model and work on it. It can train it further, it can adjust it, it can also create tools based on this model. Everyone now can contribute. It's not only restricted to OpenAI team. Now everyone can develop, contribute, and grow something big. As I already have mentioned before, Meta is one of the main contributors in this field, and one of their latest model, Llama 3.2, can handle not only text, but also images. So Llama 3.2 has different sizes of the models available. So the bigger models of this set, with 11 billion and 90 billion parameters, enable such tasks as image captioning or, for example, chart analyzing. However, this time Meta has also developed smaller models with 1 and 3 billion parameters. These are actually designed for you to be able to run these models on your mobile devices, and there is no need for external server or internet to be available. This means that you can ask questions on your device, get real-time answers, and have no worries about your user data to be leaked. Now, if you're not a developer and you don't want to code, there is already tools that you can download for free, download your model, and ask questions fully offline. If you want to run a model on your smartphone, there is a tool called Private LLM. It's an app that is available for Apple and also for Android. You can download this app on your phone. Inside the app, choose the model you want to download, and then use it fully offline, putting yourself on Avia mode. It has a similar interface as ChatGPT, so it's not very hard to understand how it works. Now the second tool is LM Studio, and you can easily download it on your computer and use offline. This one I use myself, and I want to show you how do you use it and where can you download it. So the website is called lmstudio.ai, and when you enter the website, you have to choose which kind of computer do you have in order to download the app. In my case, I already have the app downloaded, so I will just show you how it works and what can you expect from it. So when you will download this app, it will ask you to choose the model you want to download. And in my case, I downloaded the Llama 3.2 3 billion parameters model, version Instruct. Why Instruct? Because it's already fine-tuned in order to execute my instructions better. After we have our model, we have to select it, load the model, and we can fully use it offline. I can put my computer off Wi-Fi, and now I can use the model and there will be no issues. It already gives me here some examples of questions that I can use. So let's just choose one of those. Can you show me a cool math proof? And as you can see, even though we are offline, the model is generating the answer. Another capability of this tool is that we actually can upload our own PDF, text, or document file and talk with it. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or feedback, please comment below and I will be happy to answer you. Bye!